Life took a turn for Marvin when he became a widower at 69. Well-meaning friends suggested he find someone new, emphasizing he was still young enough. It seemed like sensible advice. After all, spending one's later years alone isn't typically pictured as ideal. So, after 2 years on his own, Marvin ventured back into dating. He met a woman who was kind, gentle, and easy to converse with. They enjoyed meals, shared laughs, and took long walks together. If you find conversations like these helpful, please consider liking this video or subscribing to Old Age Wisdom for more perspectives on navigating later life. But as their relationship progressed, an unexpected shift occurred. The quiet contentment Marvin had cultivated in his solitude started to fade. His established routines were disrupted, his sleep quality declined, and minor disagreements grew into larger conflicts. For the first time in years, Marvin felt tension rather than the companionship he sought. When he eventually decided to step back and embrace being alone once more, he shared a profound thought. "I wasn't lonely when I was by myself. I felt lonely when I had to compromise who I was to make someone else content." Our culture often celebrates enduring love stories and lifelong partnerships, and undeniably, these connections bring profound meaning to many lives. However, a less discussed truth is that for some individuals over 65, choosing to remain single isn't a regrettable circumstance. It's a deliberate and wise decision. This choice isn't about abandoning the idea of love, but rather prioritizing peace, rest, and oneself. Being single in later life can signify freedom, stability, and the simple relief of waking up each day without needing to negotiate or manage underlying tension. For numerous seniors, this path is precisely what enables them to flourish. Today, we'll delve into 7 compelling reasons why staying single after 65 might not only be a preferable option, but potentially the best choice for your overall well-being, encompassing your health, happiness, and emotional balance. Stick around, especially for the 7th reason. It's one that often goes unmentioned but impacts more seniors than many realize. Let's explore the first reason, the emotional strain arising from conflict. Regardless of how well-suited two people might appear, relationships, particularly new ones later in life, invariably involve disagreements. Misunderstandings, clashing habits, and differing worldviews can surface. While navigating such challenges might feel like a standard part of growth when younger, the dynamic often changes after 65. Energy levels may not be the same. Tolerance for drama can diminish, and what once seemed like a small issue can now reverberate mentally and physically for days. Many older adults discover that emotional stress affects them more intensely than before. The nervous system naturally slows with age, making recovery from stress lengthier. Sleep patterns become more delicate, and the cumulative emotional weight of frequent arguments, even minor ones, can contribute to fatigue, anxiety, or even depression. Consider Edith, 73, who started a new relationship after a decade of living independently. Initially, it brought excitement, someone to share dinner conversations and evening walks with. Soon, however, disagreements emerged. He was critical of her time management, while she felt overwhelmed by his constant phone calls. Affection gradually morphed into a feeling of being controlled, and the stress of asserting her boundaries reopened old emotional wounds she thought had healed. After 6 months, Edith ended the relationship, describing the ensuing relief as akin to finally getting a full night's sleep after years of restlessness. This kind of emotional burden isn't uncommon. We appreciate you journeying with us. If you find value here at Old Age Wisdom, hitting that like button or subscribing helps us reach more people. Many seniors carry unresolved pain from past marriages, the loss of partners, or family difficulties. A new relationship can inadvertently reactivate these old triggers. While companionship sounds appealing, it should never demand the sacrifice of inner peace. Staying single can mean navigating fewer emotional pitfalls and avoiding constant emotional upheaval. It's about choosing tranquility over turmoil, serenity over stress, a trade-off many find not just worthwhile, but essential for their well-being. Reason 2 involves financial complexities. While love might overlook practicalities, money matters rarely do, especially in our later years. Finances transform from mere numbers into symbols of security, covering potential medical needs, providing a legacy for loved ones, and ensuring peace of mind. Merging financial lives with a new partner often complicates this picture, potentially turning a calm retirement into a source of anxiety. At 30 or 40, financial hurdles in a relationship might seem surmountable with time to recover. After 65, however, the situation is different. Income is often fixed, assets have been carefully managed, and there's less room for financial missteps. A new partner might bring their own financial history, such as debt, different spending patterns, or assumptions about shared costs. Even simple shared expenses, like groceries, can cause friction without mutual understanding. Roger, 68, learned this firsthand. After his wife passed away, he reconnected with an old high school friend. Their relationship developed quickly, and she moved in within months. Roger was generous, covering dinners, trips, and household items. But he soon realized his savings were depleting faster than planned. His partner had expensive preferences and assumed a 50-50 split, though her contributions didn't match. When Roger addressed the issue, she felt offended, leading to tension and quiet resentment replacing the initial comfort. Financial entanglement extends beyond spending. It can impact tax situations and Social Security benefits. Some seniors face losing pensions or health coverage if they remarry legally. Difficult conversations about inheritance often arise, particularly involving adult children. Lines can blur easily, turning intended joy into confusion. Choosing to remain single grants complete control over one's financial domain. Spending, saving, or giving without negotiation or justification. Preserving this hard-earned financial independence can be crucial for protecting peace of mind. Reason 3 centers on the loss of routine and personal space. Over decades, we unconsciously build lives around comforting rhythms. That morning cup of tea, a trusted news source, specific times for naps or walks. These small routines anchor us, providing a sense of control, comfort, and identity, especially as other aspects of life change. When a new partner enters the home, these established patterns are frequently the first things to be adjusted. Louise, 70, had lived alone for over 10 years, her days marked by quiet intention, early rising, garden journaling, afternoons of reading or knitting. When she started a relationship, hope filled her. They initially spent weekends together, then decided to merge households. That's when friction began. He preferred sleeping late, enjoyed loud morning television, and rearranged her kitchen without asking. The tranquility she had carefully cultivated felt disrupted. I didn't grasp how much my little habits meant, she reflected, until they were no longer solely mine. This disruption isn't always overt conflict. It's often subtle, yet deeply felt. Suddenly, you're sharing your refrigerator, the remote control, your daily schedule. Constant negotiation ensues, from meal choices to laundry bin placement. While compromise is inherent in relationships, for many seniors, it starts feeling like an erosion of freedom. Personal space encompasses more than physical area. It represents autonomy, the ability to navigate your day according to your own preferences without needing to constantly adjust or explain. Choosing to stay single preserves this vital space. You decide your own schedule, your own meals, and your own activities without catering to another person's needs or moods. For many older adults, this quiet liberty offers more contentment than constant companionship might. Reason 4 addresses the increased burden of caregiving. At some point, most seniors confront the realities of declining health, whether their own or that of someone close. While caring for a loved one is a natural impulse, it's crucial to acknowledge the demands it entails, especially when you are also navigating your later years. Entering a relationship after 65 might seem joyful, but if a partner's health deteriorates, you could unexpectedly find yourself assuming the role of primary caregiver. This role, though often driven by love, is demanding. It can be physically exhausting, emotionally taxing, and lead to isolation. A romantic partnership can slowly transform into a full-time responsibility you might not be equipped or prepared to handle. George, 76, met his partner, Ruth, at church. They connected quickly and moved in together after only 4 months. Within a year, Ruth's mobility decreased significantly. George found himself assisting with bathing, managing medications, preparing all meals, and handling housework alone. He never voiced complaint, but inwardly felt depleted. His own health suffered, blood pressure rose, sleep became difficult, and he stopped participating in community activities he once enjoyed. The peaceful retirement he had envisioned gradually vanished under the weight of constant care duties. This isn't to diminish the importance or value of caregiving. For many, it is truly a labor of love. However, taking on this role unexpectedly, without adequate preparation, can lead to burnout, particularly if your own health requires attention. Choosing to remain single isn't about rejecting compassion. It's about recognizing personal limits. It acknowledges that your energy is a valuable, finite resource, and that as you age, your own body and mind need care too. By staying single, many seniors avoid the emotional strain of witnessing a partner's decline and safeguard their own precious years of health and independence. At this life stage, protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's wise. Sometimes that means establishing boundaries proactively and accepting that you have the right to choose ease over constant effort, calm over crisis. Reason 5 tackles family tensions and inheritance issues. Relationships formed later in life don't exist in a vacuum. They impact the entire family structure. When adult children are involved, introducing a new partner can sometimes lead to complications. The new person might be perceived, rightly or wrongly, as an emotional or financial interloper, creating friction that's difficult to resolve. Many seniors find that starting to date again, particularly after losing a spouse, can elicit unexpected judgment or distance from their children. Concerns might arise about the new partner influencing decisions regarding finances, wills, or property. Others may feel that the parental attention they once received is now being diverted. While these worries may not always be justified, the feelings behind them are genuine. Martha, 66, met a retired professor through her book club. They shared quiet afternoons and a mutual interest in history and travel. However, when Martha mentioned him to her sons, she encountered silence, which eventually grew into suspicion. Her sons started questioning her judgment, finances, and future plans. The tension escalated to the point where Martha ended the relationship simply to restore harmony within her family. "I never thought finding happiness again would jeopardize my closeness with my own children," she shared sadly. Inheritance matters add another layer of complexity. Cohabiting or remarrying later in life can legally alter asset distribution. Without meticulous planning, a partner might unintentionally become entitled to portions of your estate, potentially leaving your family feeling surprised or overlooked after your passing. These unresolved issues often outlast the relationship itself. Staying single can help sidestep many of these potential conflicts. It allows for clearer boundaries between your personal life and family dynamics, protecting your legacy and minimizing the emotional friction common when blending families later in life. You've dedicated a lifetime to building bonds with children, grandchildren, and your community. Sometimes preserving these connections requires choosing solitude in your romantic life, a choice often rooted in love and foresight rather than fear. Reason 6 concerns reduced independence and freedom. There's a unique kind of liberty that often accompanies aging, a quiet self-reliance many cherish deeply. It's the freedom to wake on your own schedule, spend a day in silence if desired, travel without constant check-ins, eat cereal for dinner, or rearrange furniture impulsively. After decades dedicated to raising families, careers, and caring for others, this autonomy feels less like a luxury and more like a fundamental right. Introducing a partner into your life, especially later on, frequently alters this dynamic. Compromise becomes necessary as you factor in another person's needs, schedule, and preferences. Even with mutual affection and good intentions, this adjustment can begin to feel restrictive. Spontaneity might decrease, flexibility lessens, and the independence you carefully guarded can become something you miss. Walter, 74, had just retired and started dating. His retirement dream involved extensive travel, long train journeys across scenic landscapes, and weeks visiting old friends scattered across the country. However, his new partner didn't share this enthusiasm. She preferred routine, staying close to home, and disliked air travel. Within months, Walter found himself scaling back his ambitions, canceling trips, and feeling a sense of frustration. "It wasn't anger towards her," he explained, "but frustration with myself for letting go of parts of the life I was eager to embrace." This illustrates a subtle danger, not overt control or conflict, but the gradual erosion of living life entirely on your own terms through compromise. By 65, 70, or 80, you've earned the right to set your own priorities regarding time, space, and direction. Sometimes, the only way to fully safeguard that freedom is to continue your journey alone. Choosing singledom doesn't necessitate isolation. It means crafting a life aligned with your personal values, pace, and passions. You can still cultivate deep love, meaningful connections, and nurturing relationships with friends and family, but your time remains unequivocally your own. For many, this constitutes the purest form of peace. Reason 7 addresses the pressure to settle for the wrong reasons. Perhaps the most prevalent, yet often unspoken, pain point driving some seniors into new relationships is fear. Fear of being lonely, fear of societal judgment, or the fear that time is slipping away and this might be their last opportunity for partnership. Society often implies that being coupled is the ultimate goal and that being alone, particularly in later years, signifies failure. Consequently, some individuals settle. They lower their expectations, convincing themselves that this is probably the best I can expect. This can lead to relationships that feel lukewarm, uncomfortable, or even detrimental. Barbara, 69, met a man via a senior dating platform. He was courteous, reliable, and seemed genuinely interested in commitment. Yet, deep down, Barbara felt no strong connection. He didn't share her sense of humor or truly grasp her perspective. Despite this, she agreed to the relationship, largely because her friends were all partnered, and she dreaded being the odd one out. 6 months later, she confessed feeling more isolated within the relationship than she ever had when single. This is the pitfall, settling driven by fear instead of choosing from a place of strength and self-assurance. When fear dictates choices, life tends to contract rather than expand. You end up structuring your existence around another person's comfort instead of your own truth. Such relationships, no matter how quiet or well-meaning, gradually diminish the joy available in your later years. However, here's the empowering truth often left unsaid. Choosing to be single after 65 can be one of the most liberating decisions possible. It creates space for self-discovery, pursuing passions, and personal healing. It allows for growth in ways relationships can sometimes hinder. Crucially, it reinforces the understanding that peace isn't granted by someone else, it's cultivated from within. If a new relationship enhances your life without detracting from it, that's wonderful. But if it doesn't, you possess every right to decline, not out of bitterness, but from a place of clarity about what truly nourishes your soul. There is a quiet strength in solitude, not the kind that isolates, but the kind that liberates. As we age, our perspectives often sharpen. We recognize the finite nature of time, the preciousness of energy, and that the quality of our days hinges less on a packed schedule and more on inner contentment. Choosing to remain single after 65 isn't a sign of defeat or a last resort. For many, it marks the start of a fulfilling chapter defined by intention, tranquility, and self-respect. It means greeting the day without underlying tension, moving through it without constant compromise, and ending it with the assurance that your peace is secure. We've explored 7 significant reasons today: the emotional toll of conflict, financial entanglements, the loss of cherished routines, the potential caregiving burden, navigating family tensions, preserving independence, and resisting the pressure to settle. Each of these points is valid and warrants thoughtful consideration. If any of these resonated with you, know that you are not alone. Choosing solitude doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It often signifies wisdom and strength. It's about prioritizing clarity over complication and peace over performance, a decision deserving of respect. Take a moment to reflect, not on external expectations, but on what your own spirit genuinely requires. If the answer involves stillness, simplicity, and sovereignty, embrace that path wholeheartedly. We hope this discussion resonated with you. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value in this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe to Old Age Wisdom for more content designed for this chapter of life, and perhaps share it with someone else who might find it helpful. In our next video, we'll explore the 6 types of loneliness seniors experience, and why one type might actually be beneficial. Until then, May your personal space bring you quiet. May your heart feel full, and may your peace remain undisturbed.